Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for being all here today. I have to say that I'm very pleased to have the chance to organize this final conference, even if it is not a physical meeting. Unfortunately, we don't have the possibility to meet each other physically, and this is, well, I'm sad for that. But in any case, on the other hand, very happy to have the possibility to organize this conference also in this difficult situation that we have faced, and also to have so high numbers of participants. Unfortunately, as happened, we can have also technical problems, so I kindly ask to be, let's say, patient and to apologize if any problem arises. So welcome to everybody, and thank you very much Alessandro Balboni and Maria Cristina Facchini for welcoming all of us for this conference. ProteCHt2save, this is the final conference of this project, and before starting, I have again to thank all the partnership. We are right at the end of this project, and it has been a wonderful and fruitful collaboration. It seems yesterday that we started the project, and now we are at the end. And I have to say that never and nothing would have been possible without all your collaboration. So thank you very much to all the partners of ProteCHt2save. Next, please. So it is widely recognized that climate change has created continuous and new challenges for the protection and conservation of cultural heritage. Monumental complexes, archaeological sites, and historic buildings with related collection are at risk as consequence of the impact of slow and extreme climate changes, particularly in urban areas where the effect of multiple pressures is amplified. Managing cultural heritage at risk due to the impacts of natural and man-made disasters is one of the 10 initiatives identified after the 2018 European Year of Cultural Heritage. So it has been highlighted that we need to make prevention, that we need to be prepared, but also work in adaptation and mitigation of the causes. Next, please. By the research perspective, even though significant work has been done concerning the protection and safeguarding of cultural heritage through the financing of dedicated projects, the still gaps remain to overcome. So if you can see these slides, there is a picture, an overview of several projects funded by the European Commission concerning the impact of air pollution, climate change, natural disasters in general on cultural heritage, both built heritage and natural heritage. So we cannot, let's say that nothing has been done in terms of research perspective. So project has been funded. Nevertheless, there are still several gaps that need to be overcome. Like, for example, we need to work in model line scaling. And also we need to work on the quantification of the damage produced by extreme climate changes, by pollution impact, for example, and natural disasters. We need also to develop multi-risk scenarios on complex systems, historic center, cultural landscape, archaeological site, and we need to work at local level. This is the reason why we need to work in downscaling, for example. But one of the most important things is that we need to be focused on preparedness, because measures are mainly based on response to emergency situations. Next, please. Managing of cultural heritage at risk requires an integrated approach, and synergies should be maximized among the different actors involved, from the decision-making to the practical application, where preparedness actions and evacuation plans in emergency need to be implemented. So there is a fundamental role for knowledge, research, which is very much important in identifying which are the priorities in order to define which are the resources, how these resources should be allocated. And it has been also highlighted how it is important to capitalize on the results already obtained and to have an efficient communication flow among the different actors involved in the decision-making process. Next, please. Preparedness. Preparedness is focus also of the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction 2015-2030. If we look at the priority 4 of this Sendai framework, it is highlighted how much is important to enhance the disaster preparedness for effective response, and the development of good practices on the integration of cultural heritage in the national disaster risk reduction strategies to be developed by EU member states is one of the actions for the implementation of the action plan in the priority 4. Next, please. ProteCHt2save has been founded within this framework, financed within the Interreg Central Europe program with 2.15 million of budget, 10 partners from Central European region, and a consortium constituted by actors belonging to the research sector, to the scientific community, but also to the municipalities, to public authorities, and to agencies of territorial development. And the major aim of this project is to contribute to the integration of measures and strategies for the protection of safeguarding of cultural heritage in the national plans of risk reduction and management. Next, please. Here you can see the project structure. So we have developed as major activities the identification of risk-prone areas in Central Europe, but also with a more large perspective looking at Europe and also the Mediterranean basin, which is a hotspot when we have to deal with climate change impact and particularly extreme events. We have also worked on the definition of elements determining the vulnerability of cultural heritage categories, particularly monumental complexes, museums, archives, churches. But we have also worked in using all our results and translating them in preparedness strategies and evacuation plans. These plans and action have been tested in pilot sites, in order to have a feedback and an evaluation of the performance of the results that we have produced. Next, please. Oh, I'm sorry, it seems that the slide is not complete. Could you try now? Go back, please. Back. Yes, okay, it doesn't matter. It is not, next, please. So the slide, back, please. Stop here, thank you. So I'm very sorry, this slide is not completed, but it wanted to show which is the concept of risk. So if we deal with risk, we need to work with the hazard and the impact of this hazard. And, but we need also to work on the exposure of the sector which is impacted and defining which are the elements determining this vulnerability. And for the cultural heritage, we have worked on physical and managerial criticalities determining vulnerability. I have to say that this risk mapping is a core activity of the project. Next, please. And within this part of the activity, one of the major outputs of the project has been a WebGIS tool for risk mapping. We have used a combination of 12 global and regional climate models, arriving at a downscaling of a spatial resolution of 12 kilometers. We have worked on extreme climate, so dedicating our attention to heavy rain, flooding, and drought period, which can be a risk for fire, and working also on specific cultural heritage categories like monumental complexes and related collections. So we and outdoor, and dealing with vulnerability. So you will see a detailed presentation on this part of the activity today that will be done by Alessandro Sardella. Can you hear me, Raffaella? Because I have some messages telling that the audio is not good. Could you confirm?
I'm not sure what the problem is.
But can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good, okay. Okay, so sorry. Next, please. Another very important activity concerning this project has been the ranking of the vulnerability of cultural heritage in a changing environment. This is a very complex issue, and we have still to do a lot of work concerning the definition of which are the domains determining the vulnerability of cultural heritage, because we have to deal with physical and structural aspects, but also environmental ones, economic issue, and social one. We have decided to work on the development of a methodology for ranking this vulnerability, ranging from a low, that you can see here in green, so using colors, identifying the different ranking from green to red, which is a very high vulnerability level, and concerning which are the different criteria that we have used for determining this vulnerability. Riccardo Cacciotti, our colleague in ProteCHt2save, will give a presentation and will illustrate in detail what we have done in this perspective. Next, please. Next, please. Well, as I was anticipated, we have also worked in preparedness strategies and evacuation plans for safeguarding cultural heritage back. And we have worked particularly on setting which are the experiences and the skills that the members of a cultural heritage rescue team should have. So art historian, logistic, data, informatics, but also structural engineering, geologists. These are some of the expertise that we should take into consideration in setting up a rescue team for cultural heritage. Here you can see some pictures of the training and simulation that we have done in order to train the members of this rescue team. Very important part of the project has been dedicated to the training and also to the dissemination. Next, please. Also concerning smart dissemination. And one of the other products of this project is a video game. And you will also hear about that and also about the preparedness strategies by Anna Kaiser in another presentation of today. Next, please. As I mentioned, we have to work also at pilot size. So it is very important once we have produced our output to test it and to see how it works at local level. Also looking at the different problems that can arise when really you are implementing in the field. So 7 pilot actions have been conducted linked to climate change and variability associated with hydrometeorological and climate extremes. We have worked on monumental complexes and museums and prepared preparedness strategies and also evacuation in emergency and tested in field. And well, we have learned a lot about this part of the work. And you will hear about which are the lessons learned, good and bad experiences by our colleague Maci Bereda, that will introduce to you all the pilot sites that we have conducted in our project. Next, please. Well, taking cooperation forward. So as I now said, we are arrived at the end of this project. We have produced several products and tools, WebGIS tool, manuals, preparedness strategies, and evacuation plans. And we don't want that all these finish with this project. A very important result, a very important concrete results of the progress that we have done of our project is a signature of a memorandum of understanding among the municipalities involved in ProteCHt2save. Here you see in particular the mayor of Kočevje in Slovenia signed our memorandum of understanding, where the idea is to commit all the partners involved in the signature to adopt to use practically and adopt the results, the preparedness strategies that we have produced, and integrate them in the local plan for risk reduction and management. We are also going to capitalize our results going ahead with other projects. In particular, we are using the experience that we have gained in ProteCHt2save in an Horizon 2020 project, Tectonic project, where we are working in coastal areas and in underwater cultural heritage. And finally, a very important capitalization of our project will be in the Interreg ProteCHt2save Trench. In this project, which started in March of this year, we are going to work in a further development of the WebGIS tool that we have produced in ProteCHt2save, but integrating it by using satellite data from the Copernicus program. So I really thank you very much, all of you. Next, please, and come to the end. Thank you very much indeed for your attention, and I hope you will enjoy this morning with the presentation of all the partners and also colleagues, external colleagues with a huge experience concerning the management and protection of cultural heritage at risk. Now it is time to launch our video. So this is the first time that it is launched publicly.